speaker. And again, we'll be having the Fireside chat. The topic is tapping into chatbots and virtual assistants for DE&I support and resources. And for this, I would like to call upon Swapnil Joshi. Yes, the Vice President, Customer Success and Support, DB Sync Incorporated, and Avankia Software. All of you please give a big round of applause to Swapnil Joshi. Then I would like to invite Christy S. Garcia. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Christy, the co-founder and CEO of All Out Virtual LLC. Now I would like to welcome Mohammad Noordin Alauddin, the Senior AI Scientist, Danino Management. So right now, we'll be having the Fireside chat. And after this, there's going to be a recognition and awards ceremony. So all of you enjoy this amazing Fireside chat. Thank you.
My name is Krista Garcia and I am the co-founder and CEO of All Out Virtual. I've been a virtual assistant for over a decade and I married a tech guy who has been helping me in implementing my ideas. So technically I'm the brain, I'm doing all the strategies in design and he does the tech implementation. And right now our company is based in the Philippines and we are supporting online entrepreneurs by streamlining business processes, operations, and automations. Would you like to introduce yourselves, gentlemen?
Thank you. My name is Mohammad Noordin. I am a senior AI scientist in DE&I management and I have around 12 years of experience working with different companies and firms, and I do work on mostly on technical side of AI, implementing and researching part. And with my experience, I also teach and mentor data science aspirants. I have around 6 years of experience mentoring and teaching budding data scientists. And with my professional experience and mentoring experience, I got an opportunity to author a book called Data Science with Python and Packed Applications. So I'm honored here, so thank you.
Thanks, Mohammed. My name is Swapnil Joshi. To introduce myself, I presently work as a Vice President for Customer Success and Support for DB Sync INC. Tell about me, having experience of over 22, 23 years now. Started off as a developer, typically, coding and making tools and so on and so forth. That was a time when there was, I would not say no AI, but there was very little impact of AI in the coding sector. I still remember coding myself and the small spelling goes wrong and the entire code goes for a toss. Come back and check where the spelling mistake is there. It was like VB5 or so. We saw Java coming up and advanced Java coming up and VB6 coming up where they started giving prompts. So that is the era where I come from. Then probably I had a more attraction or dopamine rush when I interacted with clients. And at the end of maybe a call or a meeting or escalation meeting or something, when they say, thank you, you made my day and you resolved my issue, that kind of gave a dopamine rush. So switched from a typical development to a support and technical support. And then of course worked with service-based companies, and then now working with product-based companies since last 12 years or so. Also have worked in healthcare, so have understanding of what and how healthcare works. Now presently working for a SaaS-based company. It's a data integration platform and a backup platform, very simple to use and where we can solve a lot of day-to-day automation and mundane tasks which each one of you do, which can be resolved within minutes. To talk about education, I'm from India, so done with the Kendriya Vidyalaya studies where you need to take care of yourself from early age and kind of makes you street smart and make sure that you gel and talk to everyone and anyone in spite of you being an introvert or extrovert doesn't make difference there. Then moved on to doing my bachelor's in computer application, did an MBA in IT, have an IIM Calcutta alumni, and also did doctorate in management. So I'm still learning, so this has not stopped each and every day. I always believe in a concept, and I wanted to include this in my intro itself. The concept of we have a mentorship program, right? Anywhere you can find a mentor who is much senior to you and talk to them on a regular basis, understand what is happening and get updates. I also believe in something called reverse mentoring. So meet with at least a decade or 2 decades younger to you, understand what are they going through and what kind of technologies they are looking at. And that will kind of push you to your limits where you can excel in what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Thank you.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. So today we're gonna talk about tapping into chatbots and virtual assistants for DE&I support and resources. So just to give you a context, DE&I stands for diversity, equity, and inclusivity. So since I'm not that technical person, I would like to give perspective in the user, as a user of chatbot and virtual assistants. So before we proceed with our discussion, I'd like to ask our audience, who among you here are using chatbots and virtual assistants in their operations or maybe their personal lives? Just raise your hand. Yeah, I think majority of us are using chatbots and virtual assistants, so we are already aware how it's performing. Now, I would like to ask the gentleman here about the processes of creating the chatbots. How long will it take, and what are the phases? Like first, wait, yes.
So in my professional career, in the last company and this company as well, we have built chatbots for both. And let me put it into perspective before telling the time what it requires to prepare. So there are two aspects. One, the chatbot can be prepared from the topic at hand, is DE&I. Predominantly, it will be an internal chatbot for the company. So by and large, if the company number of employees is more, it will work better. And when I say better, the usability of it will be more. And if the company is small, it will be not so that much. But doesn't mean that you don't do it. No. So my last company and this, we worked on getting a chatbot created for internal users first. And there were 2 stages, I would say. And I would also want to emphasize that anything you want to do, go stage-wise. That will give you an aspect of where you are and a checklist, and that you can go stage-wise from there. So stage 1 was internal, stage 2 was external. So all that started from an idea where we were thinking about, we used to ask, and I was leading the support team there, around 100 people reporting directly, indirectly to me, and they were asking a lot of questions on internal chats. So I have this customer, what should I do, what is happening, why is this not working, what troubleshooting steps should I do, and so on and so forth. Although we had a KB article site, all available there, and they could search the articles, they will get it immediately. So the interaction of chatting, and when I took feedback from the team members, they always want to chat with somebody. I put up a question, I want a relevant answer. And I don't want to scroll down and check myself and read or search, control F and search where the answer is. It's always better when I'm chatting with somebody. So that created the idea, let's create a chatbot which is internal, so and it will be hosted on our intranet itself, so there is no security and anyone from outside logging in. Also, we did a very good part at the beginning stage itself. We asked for authentication with the company user ID and password, by which we can identify who the person is. Right? You can do it without that as well. Once you do that, you can give personalized answers as well. So in stage 1, we focused first on the support, where we had hundreds and hundreds of KP articles already prepared. We modified them a bit. We kind of put tags wherever required. Sometimes it was not. With GenAI, when that is not required, you can search and understand and give you the result. Post that, we put all those in a documented, well-formatted way and pushed it as the resources. And the chatbot will search only from those documents is what we limited in the stage one. Just to make sure we are getting the correct answers, we did regression testing a number of times to make sure that we are getting appropriate answers. Once it was good and a working model for the support team, a lot of internal chat stopped and they started chatting with the AI bot and got all the technical support questions, answers there immediately with an example. Now the other part was linking it to our CRM ticketing model. Once we did that, it also started giving us past tickets. This was the ticket handled by this person and this is how you could resolve it. This is the communication that person had and so on and so forth. So that was a hit. Then we started exploring options on communicating within the company. So the first and foremost thing came up to my mind was HR. Everyone has and attends the induction call whenever you join a new company. All that is networking and basically 75–80% of what is stored there we don't remember after a couple of years, right? So there are two ways to do it. One is put all the policies. Of course, all the policies are already there. You just have to link it with your chatbot. You say, what is the leave policy? It will give you a detailed thing. Of course, the leave policy is already there on the internet. You can go and browse. This is a convenience which people want, and that's what the feedback that we receive. So building on that, we also tried to personalize it. Now, if you want to know your leave balance in a bigger organization, there will be a tool, typically from a big conglomerate, and you need to log in and see what is your leave balance. Here you chat, it will tell you what is your leave balance. When did you take your last leave? It will tell you. Now, keeping in mind of those things, we went one step ahead and started including a panel discussion for team members as well, like a general reminder. Now, we all want, and probably this is the next stage of chatbots. Today, we say hi, the chatbot says hi. On some websites, you log in into the website, it says, hi, good morning, how are you doing? How can I help you today, right? That's what we are thinking, that's what we need today. Keeping in mind, why can't we have this in internal and say that these are your upcoming meetings for today. You don't need to log in into your mail account and check. And these are your upcoming meetings. Are you prepared for those? Do you want to lock some time to prepare for those meetings? It will do it. Second is it will also remind about your colleagues. Who is celebrating their work anniversary? Who is celebrating their birthdays? Right? You can chat one-on-one with them or probably post it on the forum, where everyone can wish and so on and so forth. Of course, every company HR does that, and I don't want to take away this work from them, but this will be more interactive and more collaborative kind of stuff which we can do within the company. The bonding stays, everyone knows what is happening. Third stage where we went one step ahead was cross towers or cross departments knowledge sharing. So say for example, engineering team member does not know what is happening in marketing. How are we marketing our product, right? What kind of things we are telling the clients? Very rarely we browse our own websites. We do others, right? So what is being put in? What kind of webinars have we hosted? What are we telling our clients? That can be updated. That can be told to internal customers also. Support team doesn't know what the engineering is working on, what is going to come 1 year later, right? So if the client is asking, can you do this? We say, no, that's not possible. It's simple. If you have an update, yes, it is in the plans. It might be it's around the corner. Maybe Q2, Q3, you will have it. So all these things can be shared within the same portal itself, within the same website or intranet or the chatbot itself. So this was stage one. Now stage two was a bit difficult, mainly the authentication part, and we took care of it. It took around a couple of months for them. From a time frame perspective, all these required at least 6 months for the internals, which was stage one. And stage two, we laser focused on getting the registrations from the client. Of course, we had our app center and we had all the details of customers, but there are few customers where they have a lot of employees, and there are churn in their employees as well. If you leave, you come in, maintaining of those databases, so we had to set up some security admins for those. And once all that was done, which took a lot of time, but the chatbot was already ready, I had to just move it to a different interface so that there is a bridge between these two, there's a wall between these two, internal and external, and make sure that we are focusing on chat based on what the customer is asking. Of course, we did authentication, so we could give exact information for the clients. In the internal part, I forgot, missed to mention, customer success for any SaaS-based company is major thing, and I lead the company here, lead the team here in DB Singh. So what we also did was we put all the information. I know it is in your CRM, you will get which are the clients which are going to expire this month. If you have an annual contract or a monthly contract, that's a different ballgame altogether. It will give you a list at the start of the month. These are the clients, this is the dollar value, you'll have to chase. Last year you had issues, last year this person renewed late. It's the chat on an everyday basis as well. You know, it will not wait for you to say, ask questions of what should I do today. Probably it will tell you, this client is at risk, you know, he has not renewed yet, the renewal date is tomorrow. I think you need to focus on this client and get it renewed. Maybe there are some support tickets open, maybe there is some issue with them. You know. So that's how we kind of build. And from a duration perspective, client side will always take some time, from authentication side as well. But I think it took around a year to build both those tools, and it was a success, as I would say. Of course, there were some here and there. So yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for that valuable insights. How about you, Mr. Mohammed? What do you think is working internally, or the overall infrastructure and the architecture of a chatbot?
Yeah. Thank you, Swapnil. It was very detailed go through of what you have done, and it's remarkable. Yeah, for me, before I go into what I have done with chatbots, I would like to give some insights about where does this chatbot started. So who have really invented this chatbots? So it's interesting. So if I want to tell a story, it will take a long time, but I just want to have a crisp thing on what was the first chatbot. So it is called Eliza, which was invented in 1966 by a person called Joseph. So he wants to create a product where he can talk with machines. So that is where he created this chatbot, and it is simple pattern matching, so not like what we have right now. So after that, Eliza came up. People kind of in research perspective, people got very much attentive and attractive, and with that, a lot of different methodologies have changed, from pattern matching to contextual pattern matching, and then flow. All those things have came up, and notably there are some other chatbots like Perry, Dr. Sorbito in 1992, which is inclined with MS-DOS, adapted in MS-DOS, and then what we know, which is very famous chatbot, that is called Siri by Apple, 2010, right? So always they are kind of proprietary. It's not for free. We can use, but we don't know what is the architecture they have used. But still, so they have used AI technology to create that chatbot, and then Google came up with Google Now, and then changed to Google Assistant in 2014, and then Cortana came up by Microsoft, and Amazon came with Alexa in 2014, and then finally we have ChatGPT in 2021. So these are all generalized chatbot which has been trained on large perspective of data from the internet. So coming back to my work perspective, what I have done with chatbots. So I'm grateful enough that I have worked with NLP for the past 5 years predominantly, right from a simple text to number conversion, pattern matching, to the LLMs what we have right now. So initially, when we create a chatbot is created with simple text to numbers, and with that numbers we'll be playing around. So we have something called cosine similarity in mathematics. where we find what is the possible numbers with whatever the numbers which question has been asked. So we will be finding the numbers. Actually, the numbers is what is happening in backend. So for that, we will using the simple cosine similarity functionality to find the question and answer. And the problem there is you had to come up with a lot of question and answer from your end. So getting a data is very difficult. So if you want to create your own chatbot, the first thing to do is find what all different questions people will ask and what is the relevant answer for it. So in that case, the most of your time will be taken in data consumption, data creation. So with that data creation, data generation, you want to find what is the relevant, whatever the question people ask, what is the nearest question what you have in your database, and from there you find get an answer and get it. That's it. It's kind of simple rule-based kind of a thing. So for that, you have different framework came up like RASA. It's one of the simple model, conversation model, a dialogue flow kind of a system where you can find an intent. What is the intent of the user asking a question? And from that intent, you find the answer from your knowledge base, what you have defined. So this is the simple methodology what people were accessing. But still, you can only answer a very simple or very general questions what you have defined. So if there is something which you cannot answer, obviously it is going to be a fallback message, and that is going to be a support person or any agent will answer that. That is a real human being will answer that. So that's how I have worked on. And with that, we could able to really help the customers to get a FAQ kind of an answer on a very fast period of time. So in a seconds they can find an answer instead of waiting for someone to read your mail and then creating a ticket and then responding to someone who needs to take up that. And even if it is a larger team, that ticket needs to be diverted to the correct team, and then they will take up on and then they will answer it. So instead of that huge time delay, so this chatbot really answered it on a very faster manner. So then came this generative AI kind of a solution. What I have, I'm working it still. It's still evolving, and with the help of LLM, it's very simple thing where you can create all your knowledge base into a PDF or an Excel sheet or TXT, whatever it can be. So you can just put it in one place and you can use LLM model over it to find the correct chunk of information what people are looking for, and then you can generate a creative answer. So not that every time you give the same answer, you are going to create a generative answer then and there, whatever question has been asked in different ways, in different language, even it is multilingual, right? That's the good part here. So that's the evolution of chatbot from simple pattern matching to generative AI using LLM models to answer and make your audience or a user enthusiastic and getting the answer then and there with a more accurate answer.
Thank you so much. I think we have discussed a lot of the advantages, and I wanted to elaborate why are we tapping into chatbots and virtual assistants. And I think because most of the time we want access right away, like in terms of accessibility, we'll be able to get answers 24/7. We don't need someone to respond to us on 24 hours in a day. So that's why we are really encouraging everyone to integrate chatbots or virtual assistants in our daily lives. And aside from that, it can also help us in terms of scalability. Like if a lot of users are, chatting support or need answers right away, especially with the technical stuff or with their questions inside the company, they're able to get answers from the knowledge base. And if we have these processes and streamline operations, we will have our all of our answers there through chatbots, and we'll be able to access the resources from these chats. And of course, if they're not able to answer, we have humans who can help. Like we have AI virtual assistant. We also have the human virtual assistant which our company provides, is the human virtual assistants, and we also train them with the knowledge-based and frequently asked questions from our customers and clients so that they be able to support you technically, like everything that you need answers. So thank you so much for your valuable insights. I'd like to know, like, what are the impact in terms of like business side of things, like before using chatbot and after using chatbot? Can you tell us a bit of a difference?
Yes, I'll make it short this time because the impact was really good. Internally, when we started, we had a bit of pushback from the team members, although we were working on something that was suggested by them. So by and large, what I've seen is change is very difficult, maybe anything and everything. And I also know, and I also tell always, change is the only constant, right? So we had to do a lot of flyers, we had to do a lot of promotional emails from our side to push the employees to use it. But once the ball was rolling, the impact started to get generated. We had less queries coming to the managers itself, we had less queries coming to the HR itself, but there were still few which I'll talk about in the next section. And that was necessary. But I think by and large, as it was internal and as it was all that we fed for the chatbot to retrieve from, it was all in a controlled manner. Now, when we talk about the external chatbot, it was really good. We reduced our ticket count for support somewhere around, in the first month, it went down close to 11%. And those 11%, when we checked back, those were resolved by the chat because we had that tracking capability and reporting capability as well. So when I say a client looked at that KB article and resolved the issue, we had an option for the client to rate that article. Did it really help for him to resolve it or not? By and large, we were hovering around 4.7 out of 5. So I think its industry standard is anyways 4.5, so we hold ourselves really good there. Second was, as reporting and look back was available, we looked back at few articles which were rated 3 and below and kind of modified it, enhanced it, made sure that it reaches, and also made announcement that these articles are redefined, kind of check to the same customers because tracking was available. And post that, they gave good feedback and so on and so forth. So that's how we increased. In 1 year, we had reduced almost 27% of our support tickets coming in. So I call it deflection, but it is technically not deflection because I have made the clients to go there and resolve themselves. So that was real good impact from a money perspective as well. As we increased our client base from 2,000 to 2,500, I need not hire anyone in that particular team because the same team was able to resolve the extended client base. So that was kind of the effect which we had in our organization.
That's so wonderful. And as a user, we also have like expectations with the chatbots and virtual assistants. Like for me, as a user, I wanted the chat to be like provide accurate answers, provide like accurate prompts as well, so that it will help me and it will support me with the questions that I have. And at the same time, it can also, if you are creating chatbots, one of my expectations as well is to create like different languages. Sometimes people are not comfortable using the English and they are more comfortable expressing themselves in a different language. So hopefully for those people who are creating chatbots, there will be like a feature wherein they can select a language to use in telling or in expressing their questions. And also I wanted also like elaborate security because if we are asking for support, I wanted to make sure that my information is not being used by other people. We have that data privacy, but just want to make sure, like as a user, how am I going to be secured with my information, with the data that I'm sharing. So any insights with like with my expectations, what are the things that we can look forward and we can improve in our chatbots?
Yeah, even I can also add some of the advantages what we have encountered. So with the help of chatbot, we were able to make the number of agents count reduce. It's not a good part, but for the company it's a good part. But still, the number of agents year on year it is increasing for a very a good amount of numbers, and it is increasing exponentially that we cannot do because we human have capability to do something on a certain period of time. But AI, its capability is enormous. It is exponential. Uh, a person can answer a question, one question for a minute, but AI it can answer million question in a minute. So that's an exponential part. So in that case, we were able to reduce the count, and also we were able to manage. If the chatbot is implemented 2 years back, we would have reduced $2 million. That is the number we have came in. So that's the advantages, and that is the impact it is doing for business. Yeah, and as you said, when you create a chatbot right now, you can create a chatbot in a very simple fashion, a very easy way. But there are certain problems which we need to address or we need to gel with, so we cannot avoid. Like for example, accuracy. You can get a answer, but that answer you cannot be 100% reliable that it is correct. And the data you have trained with. If your data is trained or fine-tuned with a certain intent or certain bias, that is going to be there in your response as well. So the kind of data what you have trained. So garbage in is garbage out. If your data is garbage in, always output is going to be garbage out. So in that case, you need to choose a selective data, right data, and the representative data which doesn't have any bias in it. So that is more important. And obviously, I also said always say that somebody also spoke here hallucination. Even if you don't have any answer, it is try to giving you the right answer, like it is 100% confident. So that is the problem we need to address and we need to gel with. And there are a lot of researches happening to avoid this hallucination part, to avoid this bias part, and also the privacy, like you spoke about security, privacy. Yeah, all those things is there considered. And the final part, what I can say is like previously when we have built a chatbot, like I said, it's a simple pattern matching, simple data, all those things. It's very simple, easy to do. It is time taking, but and the cost is very, very, I can say negligible cost. But now when you use LLM model, obviously when you use LLM model, the cost is going to be on higher end. You have to have your own cloud infrastructure. You have to use a good amount of a server where it can able to retrieve the question and think about the answer and respond back as soon as soon on a meantime what is required. So for all those things to happen, obviously the cost is going to be on higher end.
Thank you so much. Would you like to add any problems that you encounter while you are creating chatbots? Mr. Swan?
While creating chatbots, yes, of course, there were many to and fro's between the employees and sometimes with the customers when we went live with the second stage as well. But I think those were not to come. And I always see a problem as an opportunity to improvise. And as I said, if it is internal, it was very well managed and handled. But if it was client, I guess we needed a call to them to explain and make them understand that this is what we are going to do. It will be helpful for you, and so on and so forth. And again, in spite of just having the clients read through our emails, it's always better we talk. So here I'm contradicting chatbot and talking, but yes. So I think I always want from my expectation perspective, I always want the chatbot also to talk to me, right? Something like a Siri. But yes, in a more personalized matter, in a more official, professional matter. So we are still working on it, not up to the mark there. From a linguistic perspective, there are some pronunciations, intonations, which we are working on how to resolve them. And but from a difficulty perspective, yes, we had few backlashes from clients as well as internal employees, but they were kind of point for us to improvise, which we did, and it's all good now.
I think we really can't rely on chatbot like the whole entire business. Yeah, that's why like there is like an option to talk to an agent if our problems are not yet resolved by a chatbot or if our questions are not yet answered. That's why we have to have that option to talk to an agent instead of going to an HR or going to a person in person. So I think we've tackled everything. I mean, the advantages, the disadvantages, and the problems, and what we are looking forward to the chatbot. And I think with the advanced technology, we can still improve our features and help us to become, better persons and professionally and personally. So, what are your final words in our advanced technology nowadays? How are we going to tap into chatbots and virtual assistants in terms of professional and personal development?
Yeah, for me, I think LLM generative AI is crazy, and because of this technology, everyone is super powerful, and they can do whatever they want with that Gen AI. And with the help of Gen AI, you can implement chatbot in whatever domain you want. It is kind of implementing in every domain, obviously. And right now with generative AI, we don't know what is happening underneath. So it's like black box is happening underneath. So this is super crazy, but I think the next version or the future will be like what is happening underneath. So when a chatbot is or a chat GPT is giving an answer for you, so it will come up with a reason for finding this answer. So what is the reason for getting this answer, and what are the things it has done underneath to get you the answer. So that is what I think is the future will be, and it will be generalized to everybody, and everyone can do anything whatever they want. So it is going to be this generative AI, this chatbot. If it is in good people, it is going to be good. If it is on with the bad people, bad intention, obviously it is going to be a disaster. So it should be handled with care. It should be handled with principle and responsibilities.
Yeah, adding on to your points, what we put in, what we get, right? So that's there. So I wanted to just make sure I make this very clear and make a statement. Chatbot is not replacement for humans. It's just a substitute which is available 24/7 for basic level questions. So for example, if an internal employee has something to escalate or maybe a harassment issue, he'll not put that in chatbot. That was made very, very clear, and I did not mention it earlier just to make sure I was holding this this particular time frame. So keeping this in mind, we had some conditions apply or some disclaimer statements as well. So for that, all the emails of HRs were very well made available to the employees, just to make sure that they don't put in those information in the chatbot, because it stores, right? And going to the second level or the second phase of releasing that was, if at all somebody is doing that, we erase it, we phase it out, and that was very difficult for us to do, because we are telling the tool what he's supposed to do. Don't do this just for this particular instance. So there was some manual intervention needed, but yes, it was also automated after a while. But yes, it is not a replacement to humans. Humans is what we need as an ultimate source to talk. And yesterday, I think one of our panels spoke about IOB, Internet of Behavior. I think chatbot can be a very good area to explore on internet behavior as well. So something like, what kind of questions this person asks on a normal basis, can I make it available to him at the start of the day? Something like that. Yeah.
All right, so before we close our fireside chat, do you have any questions? questions?
Great presentation. The only question I have is it just me that what for a customary mention of diversity, equity and inclusion, none of you touched upon the specific use of chatbots and virtual assistants for DEI. So was that an act of omission or commission? If you've done some work, can we get in touch with you offline for specific use of that for DEI?
Of course, we can touch base offline on this topic, but from DE&I perspective, I was trying to stick, and that's why the internal or the intranet part was more focused on DE&I itself. The customer-facing tool was just an add-on which we built on. Of course, DE&I can certainly work on our customer-specific as well. That's where I spoke about authentication from the customer side, to understand where the customer is coming from, and give the prompts and answer based on how, what, where the customer is from. So from the internal perspective, it works better from DE&I perspective, but for external, I think we are yet to reach there where we can map things out from an AI and ML perspective as well, which you can highlight if possible. But I think that was one of the things which we focused on. Probably could not mention the exact words, but the whole thing was diversity, equality, and inclusivity as well. So we were thinking about from that perspective as well, where we initially picked up that this is the project which we want to do. Thanks for the question.
Any other questions?
So, like any chatbot or virtual assistant is as good as the data that we feed in, right? You are talking about harassment and all, but let's say there are cases where the topic is somewhat sensitive, of course not as sensitive as harassment. How do we ensure that data is not, is not biased towards the employee or even the employers?
So for this particular thing, OpenAI have done a lot of research, and they have come up with an idea of reinforcement learning with human feedback, and then reinforcement learning with AI feedback, where chatbot is trained, modeled, and done, and still it is learning. And whenever there is a question is being answered, that answer is evaluated. So it's evaluated based on those points by human being with a lot, with more number of, I can say, with large extent, with ensemble way. It's not one person is doing it, it is going to be done by different diverse people. And from there, the model is again going to be learned. Similarly, from the AI itself, after the model has been judged based upon the human feedback, again, the model by itself will generate question, and then that question is going to be answered, and again AI is going to give a feedback. So by this repeated flow of doing again and again, the chatbot is going to be more non-biased, or it can avoid hallucination, all those things is going to be achieved. But it is not 100% done, but still it is evolving. I hope I answered it.
Yeah, but I think it is still evolving on the unconscious biasness. So it's still evolving, and I'm sure everyone might have heard this word. It is a bit difficult for us to push it, but yes, we'll be there someday. Yeah.
That's a good question.
As well as the black box. And these, I think for now, especially the algorithm that OpenAI is creating with the GPT technology are just simply inevitable. So I wonder, for relevant risks, what do you think can the business do in order to mitigate these risks, as well as to show the consumers how the AI approximately makes such a logical deduction?
Can you repeat it?
Yeah, sorry. So what I mean is, basically, as you said just now, I think one of the really key issues that remains unsolvable is the black box and the hallucination. So specifically, how does the AI make certain judgment? How does it reach certain conclusions? And I wonder, in terms of relevant risks, such as making misleading answers, etc., what do you think is the potential solutions for the enterprise to make the consumers, the users of the AI, more informed about what's actually going on?
Yeah, so you're talking about, let me repeat the question. So it's all about black box, and when you get an answer, how can we inform that that answer is correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Correct?
More accurate.
Yeah, more accurate. So with LLM and generative AI, it's more about predicting the next possible word. That's it. So we think it's something magic is doing, but what it's doing, it is possibly creating the next word based on the previous word what it has generated. And now with that help, it is very prone to hallucination. Even though it doesn't have any answer for it, it tries to give, even it is predicted the first word as the, that's it. With that, it can keep on generating the answer. It won't stop until the dot, the end of the file has reached. So now we need to stop in a place of generating the first word. So if you don't have any question, any answer or suitable articles or information regarding the question being asked, so we need to build a system where you are not supposed to answer this question. Instead, you should do some fallback. So that is where the technology and research has been happening. So that is where it can also avoid hallucination and with the human feedback, as I said. So it is not going to be 100% perfect. More feedback we give, and with that feedback, the model is still training. So even the ChatGPT, what we are using, whatever the question we ask, whatever the response we get, it is being trained again. So we are thinking whatever the data we put in chatbot, ChatGPT or Bard, that data is trained. So that is why people say don't put any privacy related information while you ask question to ChatGPT or Bard. So it is going to be trained. So with more training, more feedback, reinforcement learning, it is going to better day in and day out.
Yes, and I would like to add that that's why we have data analytics to analyze the data that's being given to us and to have like feedback and surveys so that we can improve the system. And because whatever we feed to the AI or to the chatbot, it will just generate and it will be better over the time as we collect data on the behavior, on the questions and answers, on the information, and also the feedback and surveys will really help us develop more accurate answers for our users. Yeah.
To add to this, we as in our own chatbot, what we have developed in a way when you don't have answer. So how we find an answer? We have a vector search DB. So in that DB, we are going to find the possible relevant information with the request what you have given. So with that vector DB, you are getting some answer, and that response is having some similarity numbers, similarity score. So with that similarity score, we can take a threshold. Like if the similarity is more than this number, then you can straight away say that you don't have any answer. If not, you can start building your answer based on the response what you have got from the vector DB, and then you generate. So that's the one simple thing what we have done to reduce the hallucination.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, all of you please give a big round of applause to our speakers. It was a